Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this gartered skirt, and if that's something that you'd like to see, definitely keep watching. It promises to be another fun and detailed tutorial, and guys, you definitely want to take note of the notes being shown on the screen right about now because they're absolutely important. Thank you guys and enjoy the video. To make your gartered skirt, you'll need your fabric scissors, you need some pins, you need your tailor's chalk or fabric marker, you need a zipper, and I've got this long one here because I couldn't find any short ones. You need your fabric, and I've got about 3 yards of Ankara fabric. You need your measuring tape, and if you decide to line your skirt lastly, you'll need some lining fabric. Start off by folding your fabric into a manageable size. I ended up folding my fabric a total of 4 or 5 times so that I could get it into a size I felt was manageable for me. Afterwards, go ahead and mark out your desired skirt length. My desired skirt length is 21 inches, but I had to add my allowances of ½ an inch at the top and then 1½ inches at the hem, which is a total of 2 inches allowance. So I ended up cutting a length that was 23 inches long. And this is what it looks like. You should have a rectangular piece at this point. Like I mentioned earlier, because I'm working with about 3 yards of fabric, I've got my fabric at 53 inches while it's on fold, so it gives me a total of 106 inches wide, and then I've got it at the length of 23 inches. So basically it's a rectangular piece that measures 23 inches by 106 inches. The next thing to do is to notch the center of the fabric and then sew along the width, making sure your machine settings are on the gathered settings. After sewing on your skirt, this is what it looks like, and as you can see, I have the notch right there in the middle. So the next thing to do is to gather the skirt, and to do this, all you want to do is you want to pull on the lower or the bobbin thread carefully. You want to make sure not to snap the thread while pulling, and you want to just keep pushing the gathers towards the notch or the center of the fabric. As you pull on the thread and the fabric gathers, you want to make sure that you are spreading out the gathers so that it's evenly distributed. You also want to make sure that you just gather from the side to the notch and then you start gathering again from the other side. I like to gather from both sides and then distribute the gathers evenly all through the width of the fabric. After gathering, you want to measure the gathered area just to make sure that the measurement you have is your waist measurement plus 2 inches for the zip allowance. So for instance, if your waist measurement is 30 inches, you will need to have a total of 32 inches. If you have less than your waist measurement plus 2 inches, you want to go ahead and release some of the gathers so that you have it less full. And if you have more than that, you will need to gather some more so that you can have your waist measurement plus 2 inches exactly. Fold the gathered fabric into 2 so that the right sides are facing each other. Then go ahead and pin the sides together as shown. Starting from the top of the pinned area, mark 8 inches vertically. Then from the 8 inches point, mark 1 inch horizontally all the way from there to the hem. Sew along the marks that you've just made, making sure to tighten your machine stitches. After sewing, this is what it looks like, and as you can see, we have an opening at the very top that measures 8 inches in length, and this is our zipper area. Turn your skirt inside out and then mark out the zip allowance of 1 inch on both sides of the zipper area. There should be no gathers at the zip area, so you want to push away all gathers from the zip area. When sewing the zipper to the skirt, you want to make sure to start your zipper at about ½ an inch above the stopper. So the stopper is the silver item on the zipper, and then you want to start it about ½ an inch. So that would be where you will start it. And this is because when you put your band on, your stopper is still there and it still does its job. To fix the zipper, pin the left side of the zipper to the left side of the skirt. You want to make sure to pin on the allowance that we had left earlier, and then you want to make sure that the right sides of the zipper and the right side of the skirt are facing each other. After sewing, it should look like this. Go ahead and repeat the process for the other side, placing the right side of the zipper on the right side of the skirt allowance, making sure the right sides of both the zipper and the skirt are facing each other. You want to pin this down to the allowance that we had left, making sure your zipper is arranged straight, and then you want to go ahead and sew it in place. If you're still unclear about how I fixed the zipper, I'm going to put a link to a detailed tutorial that I made some time ago on how to fix your zipper. So do click on the link in the iCard above as well as in the description bar below. After sewing the zipper in place, cut off any excess zipper and then finish up the ends of the zipper by binding. If you decide not to line your skirt, go ahead and cut out the band and then fix the band onto the skirt so that you have your skirt done already. However, if you decide to line your skirt, you want to cut out the lining so that the lining is 3 or 4 inches shorter than the skirt length. It's okay if your lining is not as wide. For me, I used my skirt fabric as 3 yards and my lining as about 2 yards. So notch the center of the lining and sew along the width, making sure your machine is set on the widest stitch. After sewing, repeat the process of pulling the gathers from the bobbin thread and then go ahead and sew the zip area together, making sure to leave a gap of about 8 inches vertically. Next, we will need to close the zip area of the fabric with the lining. To close the zip area, place the zip area of the skirt on the table so that the right side is up. Then go ahead and place the zip area of the lining on it so that the right sides are facing each other. Pin the zip allowance to each other, ensuring the right sides are facing each other. Then go ahead and sew. You want to sew as close as possible to the zipper without going over the zipper. After sewing, it should look like this. Go ahead and repeat the process for the other side, making sure to sew the zipper allowance of the lining to the fabric so that the right sides are facing each other. After closing the zip area, arrange the skirt so that the lining is properly tucked in. Then go ahead and find the notched area or the notch center of the fabric and the notch center of the lining and pin it in place. Spread out the gathers on the skirt and the gathers on the lining so that they are evenly distributed. After arranging and distributing the gathers evenly, go ahead and cut out the band. To cut out the band, you will need a strip of fabric that is 2 inches wider than the waist circumference. So for instance, if your waist measurement is 30 inches, you need a piece of fabric that is 32 inches and then 4 inches long. So you want to have 32 inches by 4 inches. Close both ends of the strip by folding it over so that the right sides are touching each other. Then go ahead and sew it into place. After sewing, turn the strips inside out and then push out the corners. At this point, your strip should only be 1 inch longer than your waist measurement, and that's because you've taken in half an inch at both sides when you close the ends. Notch half of the waist measurement on the band. So for instance, starting from the edge of the band, you want to notch 15 inches if your waist is 30 inches. Then go ahead and pin the band to the inside of the skirt as shown. Be careful to only pin one side of the band to the skirt, as you will need to cover it up by top stitching. While pinning the band to the skirt, match the notch on the band to the notch on the skirt and the lining. The reason this process seems to be taking so long is because I'm taking my time to arrange the gathers on the skirt as well as the gathers on the lining, and this is because I'm trying to avoid bulk on one side and then scantiness on another side. So you want to take your time to arrange the gathers on both the lining and the fabric, and you also want to take your time to pin this to the band. On the other side, the band should extend by 1 inch, and that's because the band is 1 inch longer than the waist circumference measurement, and this is so that it can hold the skirt hook in place. After carefully pinning the band to the skirt, Go ahead and sew the band in place on a 1/2 inch sewing allowance. After sewing the band to the inside of the skirt, the next thing to do is to fold the band over so that it can be top stitched onto the front of the skirt. To do this, you want to fold in 1/2 inch and then fold it over and then pin it into place just like I'm doing at the moment. After pinning the band into place, top stitch the band by sewing on it neatly. Then go ahead and hem both the main fabric and the lining. After top stitching the band, this is what it looks like, and as you can see, it looks neat on the inside as well as on the outside. So I went ahead to hem the fabric by folding in 1/2 inch and then 1 inch, and then I went ahead to hem the lining by folding in 1/2 inch twice. I also fixed my skirt hook onto the skirt, and my skirt is now finished, and this is what the finished product looks like. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video next week. Bye.